Happy 8:54, 2 minutes ago. All right, so here's what we got going on. It is November 1st, saddest day of the year. We wake up after a great Halloween, right?
Special.
Did you have a fun Halloween?
Oh, it was like the best Halloween ever.
What was your favorite part of last night? If you had to pick
The
one.
back of the truck.
Yep. So Squeak wants us to expedite getting the truck so that we can drive around in the back and go to cool houses. Hey, was that house last night that we went to in the back of the truck so amazing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that guy was so cool.
He wants to get onto the truck.
All right, Z, what about you? What was your favorite part?
I'm mad because I didn't get any candy.
You didn't get any candy?
I
Wait,
did.
what? What are you talking about? Weren't you Mr. Toy Story bag last night, or was that somebody else?
Mine.
Oh, were you Walmart? I can't remember.
Look, no candy.
Yeah, you got spoiled. Okay, but last night I was reminded that we never did an unveiling of the front room all season long. I hyped it, and I'm so sorry, viewers, that we never did this. So we never got around to telling the official story of our theme for the front room this year. So next year we'll go with the same theme, and what the theme is, and I'll just give you guys a sneak peek, because again, next year will be like this again. But maybe we'll actually host something and have people here.
Taking down Halloween.
We are going to start taking down, and so that's why we are doing this.
And guess what we're going to do next?
What?
We're going to skip November, and then we're going to go right to December.
We are going to decorate Christmas today. The other tree's coming up. Yep, we're in Christmas mode, because why not? We've got a free work day. There's no work to be done today. Sunday, we'll... oh, wait, I'm totally panning around. I'm getting distracted without telling the story. So, Haven and I, over the month of October, kind of put together a story about this gentleman here, whose name was Wayne Clark. Wayne Clark was married back in the early or to mid 1850s, let's say, is when yeah? Oh, got it. Thank you for telling me that so much. Wayne grew up in the 1800s. He and his wife moved to Spanish Fork. They were one of the early settlers of this city. And they built in one of the only places in this young city's city limits where they could find land when they first arrived, because they were immigrants. And where they arrived in Spanish Fork and settled was at the top of an old cemetery, one of the earliest cemeteries in Utah. And many notable pioneers and people of great historical esteem were buried in this cemetery. And so at the top of this hill, Wayne built his home for what would be his family. At the time, it was just he and his wife, and his wife's favorite holiday was Christmas. So every year, way early in the year, probably like September-ish, they would put up their Christmas tree. And one particular year, they found out that his wife, whose name was Genevieve. Did we ever decide on the wife's name? It had to start with a G. That was the only requirement. Genevieve. Janae? I think it was Janae. His wife, Janae, finally found out that he and his wife found out that they were expecting their first child. And they were so excited. But then the news got even better, because they found out they were going to have twins. And so as the due date got closer, Wayne, who was a musician, he was a famous composer, and he was a gifted pianist. He started to write sonnets for his unborn twins, who would soon be joining. And the story would go on. He would write tons of songs that would become very famous in our current world. We would recognize these pieces that he penned. And unfortunately, when Janae went into labor, she died, along with the twins, leaving him a broken heart, a broken-hearted, shattered version of himself. And he retreated inside of his home that he had built, and he would never come out. And then people that lived close would say they would walk by the house occasionally, especially at twilight, and they would hear Wayne inside composing sonnets of remorse for the years that could have been with his wife and children that he never had. He died of a broken heart, and he only lived about 6 or 7 months after his wife died, before he died as well. And all of that 6 or 7 months was spent inside the house writing songs at that piano. And so that is how he finally died, was in that pose. And we were going to have sheet music all over the place. And some of the great pianists of his time that he was inspired by. I think it's Beethoven. Yep, this guy, the headless one. And so one year, yeah, he set up in, I don't know exactly the dates yet of when this story was going to happen, but that was kind of a preface to next year's story of Wayne, who built his manor atop a cemetery. And that was kind of a topic of discussion this October. Dad was really convinced that the tombstones needed to be facing us. The rest of the family kind of thought it was weird because they're like, nobody can see them outside from the road. Trick-or-treaters and such couldn't. I mean, we've always had the tombstones facing the other way, but for the story this year, I was like, no, if we're gonna say that Wayne Manor was built atop of this cemetery, then we have to have, when we walk out of the front door, what Wayne would have seen. And this also figures into the story as well as part of the cemetery. There were executions that were happening. Again, this is 1800s, so probably during like the 1600s maybe. We'll say there were, I don't know how that fits in, but the guillotine is just one of the staples of Halloween decorations. So of course I'm gonna configure it into, oops. So that's the story. Sawyer, thank you so much for reminding me last night that I had never officially unveiled this front room. I apologize. October just seriously got away from us. And then over this decades and decades that this house has remained unused from, because I don't think anybody, I don't know how the story is going to end yet, but we tried to just make this room look really spooky. So there you go. All right, let's get our Christmas on. Bye for now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hang on, what did you just tell me?
I
What
got
did
the
you just say?
jackpot,
You got the
M&Ms.
jackpot.
M&Ms,
So you're sorting your Halloween candy.
And
right
I
now
got
with the
10
kids.
piles of M&Ms. Wait, 1, 2, 3,
So you hit the
4,
jackpot.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And this is what Dad was just given. So I get stuck with the Almond Joy. Thanks, Z.
Oh,
Wait, you want Almond Joy?
Thanks, buddy. Long live days like these. My pile keeps growing. Long live days like yesterday. Long live Alexa. Repeat song. This is going to be my anthem for today. Long Live by Florida Georgia Line. Oh, that's not this song. Alexa, previous track. If any of you have not heard Long Live, it's one of their brand new hits. Long live days like these. Yep.